headline on the national broadsheet, The Australian tomorrow, reading, Dutton gas blast sparks war. Peter Dutton will reverse Anthony Albanese's sweeping market and regulatory interventions in the oil and gas sector and rally resources companies to fight alongside the coalition against energy policies driven by Labor's renewable zealotry. Caro, look, I know that you are involved in the Liberal Party and things like that, but just take that hat off for a minute and let's talk about the fact that this is great. I think it's great to see the coalition finally have some policy spine when it comes to this address that we'll hear from the opposition leader tomorrow.
This one's not particularly difficult, frankly, Jenna, to have a spine about because our gas industry and our mining industry more broadly, they pay for everything in this country. So while the companies that are involved, they can't be totally protected species or anything like that, we most definitely have to put in place policy which allows those industries to develop and allow for, domestic supply, allow for exports, allow for regulatory processes to be gone through expeditiously because that's actually in the national interest of this whole country. So, look, the gas industry in this case, they've come out, there's been a raft of gas regulation since the Albanese government has come out. And we know that, they've said, look, with the PRRT, we're happy to accept that if that's the end of it. So what will be interesting is whether that is in fact the end of it, because if it isn't, don't be surprised if they do have more to say in the lead up to the next election, because you can't just keep regulating industry, you can't keep taxing it. Tax has never provided prosperity. We do have these industries, they are very profitable, but the best thing that we could do is encourage more exploration, more supply, and, that ultimately means more money in the government coffers anyway.
Yeah, and look, I think what we'll see probably in this speech by Mr Dutton tomorrow is rather than just honing in on specifically the resources sector, he's zoned out and really focused on the fact that he wants more Australians, regardless of whether you work in the resources sector or not, to be more aspirational. And I think that's been, an element that has been really missing amidst all this cost of living crisis. So it will be interesting to see how it is perceived tomorrow. More on that on the front page tomorrow night for sure, I would imagine.